Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I am going to talk about my book recommendations for the Chinese fantasy genre. So like for a week, I have been watching the C dramas, historical C drama, fantasy C drama, and I think about it, why not to read the books of the same genre. So for days I have been reading or rereading and adding the books to my TBR of the same genre. So I am quite excited about sharing this to you. So let's get started. So number one book is The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sui Lintan. It was my first book in the Chinese fantasy, and I had read this book 3 years back and I didn't remember what had happened in this book. So I am currently rereading the book and it's a very good chance exploring the book. So the story starts from Shingin. She is the daughter of the moon goddess Chang'e, and she was told since her childhood that she has to contain her powers. She has to not use her powers at any cost. But one day she like by accidentally got a slip of her powers, and the very day the celestial empress arrived at the moon and confronted Chang'e that if she is harboring anyone else beside her in this prison, then her punishment will be more heavier. This was heard by Shingin, who is eavesdropping all of them behind the door. So after giving this much of ultimatum, the Celestial Empress left the moon, and the next Changi confronted her daughter, telling that she has been a prisoner in the moon for years because she stole the elixir of life without the knowledge of the Celestial Emperor, and she is punished for this. But the real reason for her stealing the elixir of life was just because she has to save herself and her unborn baby, aka Zingin, at the time of the pregnancy. Hearing this, Shingin was very shocked and told her mother that why not tell the whole truth to the king and the queen. But Changi refused to this, telling Jingin that her birth has been secret, and if her existence came to the knowledge of the emperor and the empress, then she will be punished alongside her. So as to prevent this happening in the near future, she suggested Shingin to leave the moon palace immediately. Heartbrokenly, Shingin left the moon palace and went into hiding. While in hiding, Chingin got into an accidental meet with the crown prince of the Celestial Kingdom, and by some happenings, she became the study companion of the crown prince. And Zingin took it as a chance of freeing her mother from her prison, because at some way she felt that she has been the reason her mother has stole the elixir of life and she is been punished. While reading this book, I literally felt that a Sri drama is like actually happening in front of my eyes, and there is this cute little love triangle in this book, and this book is of a clean romance, but I will call this book a romance with a heart touching effect. It's awesome. Number two book is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. It's a part of a duology, The Blood of the Stars, and its second part is Unravel the Dusk. So the story starts from Maya, who is working as a seamstress in her father's tailoring shop and who was once a very renowned famous tailor, and she herself wanted to become a very famous tailor of the land, but the only thing she could dream of was to get married and be a good wife. But fate gave her a chance when a royal messenger showed up at her door, summoning her ailing father to the imperial court, and Maya took this chance and disguises herself as her brother and went to the imperial court in place of her father to achieve her dream of becoming the imperial tailor. But there is this twist that there are other 11, 12 tailors who are vying for the same job. So there are series of challenges to get to the post of the imperial tailor, and Maya passed all of these challenges with flying color. But in between the challenges, she caught the unwanted attention of the royal enchanter, who seemed to be got through the disguise of Maya, and nobody could have prepared her for the final challenge, which is nearly impossible. So the final challenge is to sew three different gowns for the empress to be from the laughter of the sun, from the tears of the moon, and from the blood of the stars. No matter how this task seems to be impossible, but Maya kind of made up her mind that she is going to complete this task and achieve her dream, and she went on a quest to the moon, to the sun, and to the stars to fulfill this, but she discovered something new and different. Number three book is The Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This book has a touch of the evil stepmother. So the story starts from Shiori, the only princess of the kingdom of Kyoto besides her six brothers, and she has her own secret. Dark magic flows through her veins and she has been concealing it well since her childhood. But one day at the day of her engagement ceremony, she loses the control and it causes her engagement ceremony to get postponed further. She thought that nobody could have noticed her slip of power, but she was wrong. It was noticed by her stepmother Raikama. So the stepmother Raikama has her own dark magic, and she banishes the princess, turns her all six brothers into cranes, and warns her that if she spoke to anyone about the former, then each of her brothers are gonna die one time. So now exiled, penniless and lonely, she has nowhere to go and she has to find all of her six brothers and to protect her kingdom from a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. And in this journey, she will be accompanied by a paper bird, a dragon, and she has to trust the very boy she has been resisting to get married to. Number four book is The Immortal by Sue Lin Tan. This book has the romance between the god of the war and a mortal princess. So the story starts from Liang, who is the princess of Tianxia, and she is soon gonna ascend the throne of the kingdom and renew the alliance between her kingdom and to the immortals who had once saved her kingdom from a very vicious enemy. But one day Lian got poisoned and to save her life her grandfather stole an enchanted lotus. The immortal queen, knowing about this, got enraged and she ordered the god of the war, the ruthless god of the war, to wage a war against Tianxia. Soon her grandfather died and Lian ascended the precarious throne and she vowed she is gonna end this alliance of her kingdom to the immortals and ending any kind of obligation of her peoples towards the immortal realm. And she got a chance to do so when she got summoned to the immortal realm and she seized this opportunity to know more about the immortals and their secrets and she decided to form a very tenuous alliance with the most feared and the ruthless god of war. But there is this twist that she began to feel attracted towards the god of the war and the feeling is kind of a mutual, but she is ready to do anything for her people to not to face the wrath of the immortal queen, even if it means to sacrifice her own heart. I have not started this book yet, but I am so much excited to read this book out because I am excited to read the romance between the god of the war and the mortal princess. Number five book is The Poppy War by Arif Kwang. It's the first book in the Poppy War series and it draws the inspiration from the Opium War and the bloody 20th century of the Chinese history with a touch of magic and treachery. Doreen is a girl who is living with her foster parents, aka her uncle and aunt, and they are using her to get smuggle their illegal opium. And she has been instructed and ordered by them that she has to get married to a wealthy family and should extend their illegal enterprise. But Rin does not want this kind of a fate. She wanted her own freedom. So as to get away from this, she decided to give the Keju exam, the Nikan province's most toughest government exam, and she aced it. She got into the first rank and she got entry into the Sign Guard Academy, the Nikan province's topmost military academy. But surprise, she may have gotten into the military academy and she is finally free of her uncle and aunt. But she is a dark skinned peasant girl from the south and she is a female and she is gonna face a lot of discrimination. And she is in the military school and there are enemies lurking on the borders of the province and she somehow has the powers to prevent those enemies from invading the province. I have not completed the series, but as far as I have read this series, let me warn you that don't have a favorite character from this series because you are definitely gonna get a heartbreak after knowing the future of your favorite character. Number six book is The Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Amelia Wenzhou. So the story starts from Lan, who is living in the city which has been colonized by the Elantrians and they have put a ban on the uses of magic. And here Lan is a song girl by the night and by the day she is scraping for the information she could all find about her past, mostly to know about this mysterious mark over her hand which is only visible to her eyes, not visible to other eyes, until a guy came by her side and saved her life in a tea shop. So the guy's name is Zen and he is one of those favorite magicians, the magicians who draw their very power from the demonic entity, but possessing such kind of a magic in a province where magic is an outlaw is kind of a very dangerous. But once Zen saw the mark on Lan's hand, he was sure that Lan is a very powerful magician and the answer behind those marks could only be given by the masters who are hidden in the deep pine forest or the misty mountains who are planning to overthrow the Elantian regime. Here Lance and Zen's fate are kind of interconnected, like their power could liberate their land from the colonial oppressors or may destroy the world together. So the seventh and the last book in the video is A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. Here True Saigas or Simply True has never planned of becoming a con artist, but she has to do something to support her family because her father is being lost in the sea and she is a gifted art forger. That is, she could paint the future of the people, but this profession is not at all enough to restore her family's condition nor to fend off the gangsters who are demanding the repayment of her mother's gambling debt in the name of blood. So with no options left to agree to a marriage contract by a dragon lord who offers her a fresh start for her family and her siblings and answers to her father's mysterious disappearance in the sea, and in exchange she has to go with him to the deep undersea palace, and there she has to assist him in infiltrating the tyrannical dragon lord's inner circle and painting a future so prisoners that it could upend both mortal and immortal realms. So now we are at the last part of the video, and forgive me if there is any mistake in pronunciation of the Chinese names or the Chinese places. And at the last, if you like this video, do like, share and drop your comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Till then, stay tuned for the upcoming video. Bye bye.